Mm, hello. Let's see. Let me add my video capture device. So yeah, hello, hello, hello. So I hope my audio and video are clear. Okay. So in the meantime, let me share this link. So hello guys, hello Manoj. Mm, Let me do some bit of like share this link so that people can join. Okay. So currently today we'll be discussing the final part in the scanning and enumeration. So I'm trying to install this Nessus on my system, so on my Kali machine. So once it is successful, then I'll show you what we can do. I'm trying my best to like to install the Nessus, but Nessus became a big headache these days because it asks for the company email. So yeah, it is bit tough. Mm, I'm trying my best, guys. Let's hope I can get access. Like I'm using my old college mail. So in the meantime, you can shoot your questions. You heard that? Have you heard about some new PJPT certification? How do you think it will hold compared to EJPT? Still, there are no conclusions, bro, because there are no reviews yet. So you should wait. Maybe I think as PNPT is like a competition for OSCP, maybe this PJPT may come up with the competition to this EJPT because these days many people are going with the EJPT. So yeah, I'm getting issues. Okay. I'll try my best. Nessus professional. Okay. Continue. Okay, I think it's email. Mm-hmm. Mm. Oh, okay. Fine. Fine, guys. Fine, fine. Continue. So I'll create a username and password. Then I'll show you guys. Okay, let me save this thing. Okay, fine. So let's come back to the stream where we left. And as we discussed, so today we'll be discussing about the scanning. So next phase, like we'll be discussing about one of the top used scanning tool. So whenever you join some sort of, some sort of companies like in a junior pen tester role, so mostly you will be doing vulnerability assessment through a tool called as Nessus. So I think 80 to 90% of the top companies use Nessus, okay, in their vulnerability management and stuff. So how you can install and how you can do is like, so pretty just go and just search for Nessus and try. So you'll get a link like this. I'll share this link with you guys. Or there is also a Trahack Me room, okay, so which is based on Nessus. So you can just follow the steps there as well. So it's fine, okay. Then what happens in the sense like just register your email. So here it is asking for company email. So at the rate gmail.com, at the rate yahoo.com don't work. Like it should be some sort of like office related, like at the rate satvik.com or at the rate some university.com or some sort of stuff. So that is where most people might get error. But yep, if you have one of that URL, one of that, then it's fine. Okay. Mm, so once it is done, you should go to some page called as Nessus download Nessus. You can search for simply download Nessus. Go to the first one, and here you can see I'm trying to show this on Kali machine. So you have two versions here, 10.5.2, and so that's the latest version. And here you have like some versions here. So Linux RHEL in the sense like Red Hat Linux. You have like Debian AMD 64. You can just click on this, okay, and you can download that, and you need to just run that, okay. So how to run, I'll show you. So I just downloaded like a different Ubuntu package, but Ubuntu also works fine. But there is a specific package here named as a Linux Debian, and AMD 64 stands for a 64-bit. Okay, so try to download this. Like even though you download Ubuntu 64, it's fine. So and then I ran this command dpkg-i, and like I'm just trying to run this .deb file. So it extracted, and now it gave me an instruction to run this service. Nessus installs as a service. So run this service, and once you run this service, you will not get any output. So just go to this URL. Okay, so just go to this URL. There it will ask you for some sort of name. So give the Nessus professional. Okay, so Nessus Professional, I think, yeah, Nessus Professional, and there enter the email address that you mentioned, and you can see your license there. Okay, very simple process. Okay, it's very simple process. Like only you need to have a work email, and that's fine. So one doubt: can you scan a website? Sometime the website IP comes out during scanning as IP of the hosting center. Right? Yeah, you can scan an IP. It's fine. Yeah, like as you told, there are uh several websites or some sort of stuff maybe hosted on the same IP. So yep, that is also that is also fine. Just a minute, guys. Mm, okay, fine. So then it will ask you for to mention the username and password. So just enter them. Okay, so you can create your own username and password. It's very simple. And also there is a try hack me room based on this. You can just go ahead and follow that as well if you want a step guide. Okay. Mm, yep. So here you can see you can click on start new trail for like 7 days. Okay, so or you can just close it, it's fine. Okay, so this is what it is, and let me also open my metasploitable because that is my target here. Like if you want, you can do this on any track me room as well. It is completely your choice. Okay, you can do it on anything, it's fine. Okay, so Nessus, the reason why we are covering is I'm going to cover it once again because it is very important to like every company that I know. Like they would definitely use Nessus, even it's a professional version or like cracked version. So I saw a few companies using cracked versions as well. But anyhow, they use Nessus functionality because it is very important. So now click on create a new scan. So you can see my PCs, my Kali machine is running on like very so many specifications. Let's wait for some time. Maybe it is loading up all the plugins, I guess. Let's create a new folder. So how to create a new one? Let's see. Navigation, click on scans and host table. Where I cannot see anything here. Mm, any idea? No, I guess like we'll try to figure it out. Okay. Uh, so you can just go to the documentation, guys. Like click on scans and my scans page will appear. Okay. Then in the scans tab, click on the row to come of completed scans. Click on hosts tab. Where are all this stuff? So I think my license is fine. Maybe it may be the problem with the license, I guess. Let me check once. Uh, I'm not getting an option for a new scan. Why? Create a new scan is not there. Okay. Maybe is it blocked? We'll do one thing. I'll sign out. Let me close this. Let me restart the service once. Okay. So restart, like solves almost all the problems. So let's try this. Okay. So as this tool is very important. So let's try this and let's see. Yeah, it is initializing. Maybe some, this is for the first time, right? So maybe some plugins are like reloading, I guess. That's fine. Okay, that's fine. Let's wait. Mhm. So in the meantime, you guys can ask the questions. Today we'll be discussing about this Nessus as well as this enumeration part as well. So I'll give you a few techniques in order to do the enumeration successfully. So like how you can gather much information about some services. Okay. So let's wait. That's the problem, guys. You can see here it is utilizing all the CPU here. You can see 100% and RAM is also 100%. So that is one of the biggest issue here. So yeah, let's wait. Let me sign in now. You can see plugins are compiling. Plugins are compiling necessary functionality will be limited until the compilation is completed. So what shall we do, guys? Like we'll do one thing. So like I'll cover the enumeration in the meantime because the plugins and everything are just loading. Okay, so as this is the first time, right? So this is taking some time. So in the meantime, I'll cover the enumeration part. Okay, so let's do that. So let's run ARP scan -L and try to find out the metasploitables IP. So it is 192.168.64.135. Okay, so Let's keep this in the notepad because this is our target. Okay, so here if you I'll just run a simple nmap scan. So here if you run an nmap scan, we got few services, right? So we just only got some information about the services. So here enumeration is nothing but a technique in order to you try to dig deep into that service. Okay, so that you can find out much information. For example, if there is an ftp, so we already covered yesterday. For example, let's go with locate.nsc and you can grep for ftp. So this is there is a feature in nmap called as nmap scripting engine. So if you missed it, just go through the previous video and you will get your answers. Okay, so here you have like few scripts here. So nsc are nothing but the scripts which helps you in automating some stuff. Okay, what's the problem? Maybe the host, maybe your target may be slow. Okay, your target may be slow, so that happens. Like sometimes even in try hack me and hack the box also that happens. So yep, so first of all, the first and the best step you can do is like you can do grep. Like I just showed yesterday, I showed for ftp, right? We'll go with smb for example. And you can see there are several scripts for smb. You can see smb brute and sort of stuff. If you don't know, you can just copy this. Okay, just google it. So just just run it. Okay, and you can see a page something like this, like nmap documentation. Just open that and just go through that so that you can understand what's happening, like what this particular script is doing. Okay, so and then you can try to use it. Okay, so that is how that is how I recommend you guys. Like if you want, like if you are like brute user, then you can go something like nmap a hyphen port 445 script equals to smb hyphen star dot nsc. So it goes through all these scripts. Okay, all these scripts, and it gives you a result. So yep. Depends, bro. Like depends on like the target also depends. For example, here the metasploitable is in my same network. So this Kali Linux and metasploitable are on same network. Hence, it is taking very less time in order to give me the results. But if I take something like try hack me or hack the box room, then it will take more time. Obviously, it will take more time. So that is one thing you need to keep in mind. Okay, so you cannot expect the same speed for everything. Okay, like like it's just like a download, guys. Like for example, whenever you're downloading files from some servers, it will be very fast, but for some it will be very slow. It's not your internet connection, it's how the server is responding. So those comes under thing. So whenever you are doing the scans, right, nmap scans, use an option called as verbose hyphen v, because you can go through the output in the meantime. It will be very very useful for you guys. Okay, just use verbose option. Like even to be honest, even I face this slowness in the scans, but yeah, the verbose is one of the good thing that I use honestly, and it works absolutely fine. So Nessus is taking so much time, like very so much time. So plugins are still compiling. So let's wait. What happens here? Your trail will expire in 6 days on June 11, 2023. So we have 7 days, no problem. But the plugins are just compiling. So like Nessus works on plugins, guys. There are several plugins in Nessus, and that is how it works. Okay. So let this scan complete in the meantime, and if you have any doubts, you can just go ahead and ask. So this is one of the way to do enumeration. So like there are some other options as well. So we'll be discussing them. So for example, there is an SMB, right? So you can just go and do SMB client. Okay, so there is a tool called SMB client hyphen L list and not this slash 4 slashes. Sometimes it only takes 2 slashes. So if it gives you an error, like you can just you can. My system is hanging because it's taking a lot of Nessus is taking a lot of space. A lot of storage. You can see, you can go with double slashes. Sometimes you may not get anything with the double slashes. You can go with four slashes because backslash is used as an escaping character. Okay, sometimes it is asking me for the password, so I'm just giving a random password, and you can see sometimes you can see the share names and some sort of stuff. So SMB is a service which is used to host the shares. Okay, so sometimes you can connect to them and you can do some other stuff as well. Okay, so there is other tools as well. So if you find out the information, so the enumeration is a phase in which you try to more information. So and like that only there are for FTP like FTP, and you can just paste the UR the IP as we saw in the last class. So there is an anonymous login allowed. Okay, so anonymous login in the sense like you don't need to give exact credentials. So I'll just give anonymous and the password as password. Like you can give any username or anything. Okay, it's fine. Bear me guys, like it's slow because the Nessus is running in the background. So I need to reset my Kali machine once it is done. So I just gave a normal credentials like anonymous or something something. So if I do list or ls, so there are no files. You can upload a file by using put and some sort of file. Okay, so I can download a file using like get and some sort of stuff. Like where you can find this, you can just go to Google. So Google is the only good place. So FTP commands, for example, you'll find some FTP commands like go through the functionality. Get and put are very useful. So if in order to download some files, you can use get, and if you want to like upload a file, then you can use put. Like if you download get, put, upload. So bro, which internet connection do banks use? Mostly ethernet connection because it is safe. Okay, so I'll stop this nmap scan. Okay, I hope you got the clarity guys. Like we'll use this scripts in order to find out more information. Okay, so there are several ways. Okay, so many ways to do that. Like you can even use msf console as well. So I hope you know what msf console is. uh No problem if you don't know. Okay, so MSF console is nothing but a metasploit. So there are few modules. Okay, so metasploit consists of several modules. We'll discuss more about metasploit in the upcoming sessions, but just for now, for the enumeration portion, we'll be discussing. Your results also print SMTP. I'll show you. Like you don't need to remember SMTP connection, or you can simply go with netcat. Okay, so netcat is the best way to connect to any server. I got it. Netcat, the IP, and the port is 25. Okay, so it will ask me for like credentials, but I don't know anything. For example, it is just like you can like honestly, guys, you can connect to almost every port via netcat. Okay, so you can see here, like I tried to connect to the port 25 via netcat, but I'm unable to do anything. So that's the reason I didn't show you guys. Like you can see, I can only see the domain name, but there are like ESMTP, postfix, and I don't know what these are. But when I run a help command, so help is a universal command, guys. Like you'll get information every time. So I'll go with small help as well. No, there are nothing. LS nothing. PWD nothing. Okay, so let's go and search for SMTP commands. Hello. Okay, let's try this. So hello host name. So it is there are like you can try these commands. Okay. So like this functionality is like you can go through them. So SMTP is a mail transfer. So I'll just give you a quick brief about what these commands do. Like just a quick brief, guys. Okay, like we are just going in a pen testing format. We are not doing this in like a format or something like that. It provides the identification for the sender, that is the host name. Like you can see the command, how to use the syntax and everything. Okay, so yeah, like this is how you can do it. Okay, like if you find a port, just try to connect to that and just try to find out some information. Okay, No ports open in the sense maybe it may be filtered. It doesn't filtered also there is a case. Not every time the filtered port doesn't show up every time. Mobile ports are like very minimal to see. Like I have never find out so many ports on mobile phone. Try to do it on some like computer also. Okay, so mobile phone, that's a different aspect. Uh, you will not find ports very open on mobiles like on Android or on iOS because like in the kernel level they are blocked. Okay, so like I observed personally, like I even tried to scan my phones and stuff, but they doesn't work. So yep, so let's run this MSF console. So don't worry guys, MSF console Metasploit will cover in the upcoming sections. So no need to worry. But as of now, there are few modules in MSF console as well, which you can use for the enumeration. Okay. So yep. Now it is completed. No, not yet completed. Hmm. And it is going very slowly. Fine, that's fine. It's very slow. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. Let it take time. Yeah, thank you. It is loading, guys. Still, the plugins are loading. Let's wait. So, okay. So, in the meantime, we got this MSF console. Like, you can simply search for example, search SMB, for example. So, you have like there are several modules in Metasploit. So, for example, there is a module like this. So, it is classified in such a way that the first one, the first portion, like it can be auxiliary or it can be exploit or you can use post as well. So auxiliary is for scanning. Okay, scanning or enumeration. So you will find something like exploit as well in the front. So it is used for exploitation. And there is one something called as post as well, which is used for post exploitation, like privilege escalations. And payload, in the sense like if you want to create any backdoor or something, payload is an option. So these are few modules that you have. Like we'll search for SMB version. Let's go with some. Yeah, you have like a module called as auxiliary scanner and something. So you can see the index is 9. So use 9. Okay, so show options. Like don't worry, guys. Like I'll cover this in the upcoming sections, like Metasploit. But if you guys know how to use Metasploit, then that's absolutely fine. Okay. Like I'm just trying to show you that there are several ways you can gather information. Okay, so there are nothing like only you should use nesses or only you should use some sort of stuff like that. No, there are several ways to find or scan the information. So those are all we'll be discovering. So you can use offline note. What is offline note? So if you have any doubts, guys, you can ask here. Okay, if you want, you can just go and connect with me on my Discord server and we can chat. Okay, so you need to just provide the R host for this module. So every module require few options. So R host in the sense like you can see the description, the target host. So set R hosts. Okay, and just the IP and just run. So this what this particular module does is it tries to give you the exact version of the SMB. So previously in the last time when we did a scan, right, we didn't got exact version of SMB. We got something like SMB 3x to 2x or something like that. But now you can see we got some more detailed information. So you can use this and you can note it down so that it can be useful in the further parts. Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, so yeah, that is how you can use MSF console as well. So there are so many stuff like search, FTP version, for example. So there are few stuff here. There are few services here. Sorry, few modules here. So FTP traversal, some sort of stuff. If you want to know more about that, once you select the module, so just run a command info, and it will give you a description like fingerprint and display the version information about the SMB servers and protocol and sort of stuff. Yeah, that is the worst way to do it, bro. Like, see, why you should first of all ask yourself like why you want to do an Nmap scan. So you don't need to run the Nmap scan on whole set of subdomains. Okay, that's like foolish thing that you can do. You'll get your IP blocked out, your system may be maxed out. So you should only do it for the selected subdomains and or sort of stuff. You cannot do it for everything. Okay, it is just the waste step that to do. Like, what is your end goal in Nmap? Like, do you want to find any service, or do you want to find how what ports are open, sort of stuff? Like, if you want to find out what ports are open, so there is an alternative. Like, there is something called as, what is this? Uh, Shodan extension. For example, there is something called a Shodan extension. So this Shodan extension is used. It will show you the ports. For example, you can add it to your browser, and you can see here. You can see what ports are open. So everything has an advantage. I'm covering this in an internal pen test aspect. Okay, you cannot link all this stuff to the real time thing. Okay, because real time is very different. Like, this particular course is for like beginners, like who want to get started, so that they can use these techniques and they can solve some CTFs, and then they can gain some experience. So that is what this is all about. Like, that's just a foolish step to do, to run all those scans in at a go. Okay, so it will be maxed out and your IP will be kicked out. That's it. That is going to be the end goal. And you may ask me, like, is there a chance to find a vulnerability? Yes, there is a chance, but that's not an efficient way. Okay, I hope you're getting what I'm trying to say. Yeah, Nabu is one good thing. So yeah, you should ask yourself question for which I'm using this particular scanning tool. So there are several alternatives. So Nabu is a passive scanning tool. Okay, Nmap is an active scanning tool, or like active recon you can call. So you'll give lot of noise to your target. But Nabu is one good tool which you doesn't where you doesn't require, any sort of active communication. It'll just go through some sort of like like passive stuff. And it's very faster because it is not dependent on anything. Masscan is similar to Nmap only. Yeah, you can write your scripts if you know. Okay, so that is it, guys. Like, how we can do enumeration. Like, if you want, there is one more thing. Like, if you want to connect to some ports, like, you can simply type connecting to FTP, for example. Okay, so how you can connect to an FTP? You can see there are several commands. Okay, you don't need to remember everything. Like, for example, FTP and so, right? So they are fine because we will be using them every time. So for example, how I connect to an FTP, as I told you earlier, so FTP and the IP address. Similarly to SSH, so SSH username may be MSF admin, for example, in my target, and just paste the IP, and it doesn't match because it's old, so that's fine. So like this, to SMB, like you can connect to every port or service, like not every, because sometimes they require authentication, or sometimes they may be doing out the IP filtering. So yeah, all those comes under picture. So if you want to do anything like that, you can do it. But if you don't know anything, just use netcat. So NC the IP, and for example, it's 22. So I can say that I'm not able to connect, but still I'm able to see it. Okay, so yeah, netcat is very one good tool that you can use every time. Why is it taking so much time? If I find anonymous FTP in bounty program, yeah, you can, man. Anonymous login is very vulnerable. You can upload several files there. You can report that, yeah, he's selling. I'm not sure about the P status, but as one of our friend is saying, it's P1, $5,000. Okay, that's just a misconfiguration. Those are just configurations. Okay, it's not a vulnerability, to be honest. Like whenever they are installing the service, right? So they may miss few points, or they may just go on with next or sort of stuff. So anonymous login, it's just a configuration. That's it. It can be disabled. But if the company is having one, then if your target is having one, then you can report it. Okay. My Nessus is say taking lot of time by, yeah, default settings or misconfigurations or whatever it is. Okay, Nessus is taking a lot of time, guys. What shall we do? Let's wait. In the meantime, you guys can ask your questions, okay? And also, if you want to be part, check out my Discord server. See, you cannot always see it in the browser. It depends on how they configured it, like whether your FTP server is having like a connection with the web server or not. It is dependent. Like you cannot link everything that you see in CTS to the real time. Okay, so maybe FTP may consist of some sort of JavaScript files or sort of stuff. Okay, like you need to understand how they are getting it. Like you need to check whether these files are reflecting anywhere on the web server or not. That's a big process you need to do. It's not simply like you can, if you're going to that URL, it doesn't load up. No, it's not like that. You should identify where the other files in the FTP are showing up, and then you need to do. You don't need to exploit it. Okay, why you need to exploit it? Because you can just report it, right? You don't need to exploit it. If you exploit it, it will definitely go under law, against law. Okay, so if you're doing for the bug bounty perspective, you can just report it. That's fine. Big IP. Not sure. I heard of it, but I forgot, I guess. It's a service, I guess. Yeah, F5, F5 servers. So there once there were few F5 servers. Okay, so once, yeah, even I reported some vulnerabilities on this thing. So there, like 2 years or some years back. So F5 is like a service. Okay, these are also like a service. Though they used to have something like there was like a mass exploited vulnerability, like a remote command execution vulnerability. So that is how I remember this big IP, or like this F5. I just saw this F5 name and I got this stuff. It's also a service. Okay, it provides the performance. Like I don't know what it does, to be honest, but I gone through several reports during this period. Okay, I don't know why this is taking a lot of time. Let's wait, or I'll close it. I'll restart the service once again. So guys, like it's just like a general thing. If you are doing any bug bounty, you don't need to exploit and show it. Okay, it may lead to some issues. Okay, so definitely it may lead to issues. Find real IPF website and bypass WAF. You can find the IP of a website simply by pinging the domain, bro. It's very simple. Ping google.com, ping any website. You can find out the IP. WAF, I know to do that. Bypassing WAF, it's very hard. Like it's like a 0 day. It's almost similar to a 0 day. Okay. It's almost bypassing WAF. It's almost similar to like a 0 day. Like I tried several times to be honest. Like there is a vulnerable site. The site is vulnerable. Like I observed the source code and the source code and everything. Like the site is damn vulnerable, but I was unable to inject the payload because of the Cloudflare. So I failed that. Okay, I failed there. So bypassing WAF is not that easy. Yeah, mostly it is going to be WAF IP. Yeah, that is it. You may not always find out everything if WAF is there, right? So it is going to be definitely hard. Most value. Even they get detected. See, WAF, the functionality of WAF itself is like to detect all this stuff. Like maybe if the web application firewall they are using is very waste one, then it will be done. But mostly nowadays it they are using Cloudflare or some sort of stuff. Mostly they are not that possible. Like maybe you can try out some ways, but mostly it is not that possible. Cloudflare is very strong. uh, like I told you, right, once I found an XSS by going through the logic of that source code, but I was unable to do it. Okay, so I think the Nessus is not coming up. I'll just give you a brief info about this Nessus. So there is a room on TryHackMe. If you want, you can try this out. So it's my mistake. I shouldn't have done that. Uh, let's go with this walkthrough. So you can go through the installation step, and there are no pictures. Without pictures, there should be some pictures, right? Yeah, now you can see some sort of like my scans. Okay, in the my scans, there are like few scan templates as well. Like for example, host discovery, basic network scan. Okay, a credential patch. Like there are several sort of attacks or like plugins you can call. Okay, you can just load any of those plugins. So mostly you can go with something like complete scan or sort of stuff and just mention the host or the domain. Okay, so yep, that's one thing. Like it's a very simple tool to use. Like just go through this try hack me necessary room if possible. I tried to show you guys, but it is just not loading up. The plugins are still loading. Mm, come on. No events are happening. Successful connection to the plugin server is loading. Once the plugins are loaded, right, then you can do the stuff. Okay, plugins are like they're just the key plugins. As I told you, they're very important, and you can just add few plugins and you can do the stuff. So I'll leave the link for the Nessus tutorial. You can go and check that out. I thought to cover it, but it didn't work. Okay, so just give the link for that article. You can check this out. Okay, so you can go through this and it will be fine. Okay, so now if you have any doubts or anything regarding the session, you can just go ahead and ask, and I'll be happy to answer. how fuzzing can help us. You can try to find out new endpoints with fuzzing. You can find out few endpoints, you can find out some servers and sort of stuff. The exercise methodology, yeah, I covered several videos on that around. You can just go through my channel, you'll find few. Okay. So methodology in the sense like how you can understand, like it may not deliver, like may not completely get a vulnerability, like you can get a good understanding. Okay. So how you can go through and answer it. Okay. Hello, Immortal Web. Hello. I'll be there for 6 more minutes. You can just go and yeah, ho gaya. We just covered scanning section. So I tried to show this Nessus, but it failed because the plugins are loading. Okay, so yeah, I wrote some Golans with that and end of the URL file. Okay, bro, you can go with English. Okay, so I already told you several times that I could understand Hindi, but it's very basic. So if you want a correct answer, ask it in a correct format. Okay, so you can go with in English. Yeah, automate you can do it, but don't completely focus on automation. Okay, so even add some sort of basic manual checkup as well. So yeah, automation will definitely work. Like to be honest, like a recon process, I do automation, but I'll even check that as well. Yeah, you can strip. From AP, bro, Andhra Pradesh. I think it's too hard to find easy ones. And yeah, it's very hard, bro. Like everyone does that, right? Like you should be unique in some terms. Okay, like running this a nuclear templates and going with this automated stuff. Like they'll definitely not help in public programs, but they will be useful in like private programs. Okay, you should think more in public programs, and there is very good chance that you'll find duplicates because it is public, right? Everyone may have gone through that. Maybe there is a good chance. So, yep, you should be unique in your methodology. Okay, like if you are not familiar, you can go through some reports, you can get some idea, like food for thought, and you can try to implement them as well. Yeah, nuclear, yeah. Yeah, PNPT is the next cert, and then I'll be going with OSCP. So how to check? Like go through the documentation, and there may be some sort of a function. There may be some sort of mention where how you can use that particular API key. So try to use that particular API key in the way that he mentioned, and try to find out. Okay, no, I don't have EJPT. I have CEH. Yeah, just go through the documentation. You may find how to use that API key, and if you are able to use that API key, and if you are getting some sort of information which shouldn't be, then you can report that. Okay. Private programs. It depends, bro. Like you can try to find out via like manual search as well. Like there are a few docs, Google Docs. You can go through that. It will help you. Or else you can, if you are participating on Hacker One or so, right? You can. There may be some criteria where you will be eligible for the private programs. Okay, so was stuck with EJPT. Go with EJPT, bro, because PJPT is just launched, right? EJPT has some value to that. So just go with EJPT because don't consider the money because it's valuable. Like it will take some time. In the meantime, you can complete the certification. CH more theory based. Like CH, don't go with normal CH. Go with CH practical if you are interested because it gives you practical scope. You're doing illegal. I don't know, bro. Those stuff. Those are up to your own. So I guess that is it for guys for today. So we'll meet again on the next week. So on we'll be covering the exploitation section. Good night. Take care.